Welcome to Gold Coast College, the smarter way to learn English. I am delighted to present to you GCC's English Plus Demi Pair program. This English Plus Demi Pair is a safe program for students who wish to improve their English skills whilst being provided with exposure to cultural exchange. The Demi Pair program is not just an accommodation option. Students need to provide the Demi Pair family with assistance in light household chores and babysitting services in return for full accommodation and meals. Demi Pair students will be expected to provide Demi Pair work services for approximately 20 hours per week, and the duties and schedules will be provided by the Demi Pair family upon commencement. The main point of this program is for international students to study English in a safe environment, where there is plenty of opportunity to communicate in English and share cultures. Unlike the homestay system, Demi Pair families do not receive any payment for the accommodation and meals provided to the Demi Pair students. Rather, they participate in this program because they are in need of help around the house and they wish for their children to engage in cultural exchange with international students. Occasionally, we receive Demi Pair students who think of this program as a free accommodation service. However, Demi Pair applicants must understand that in order to successfully participate in this program, you need to become a part of the family and put the Demi Pair duties and responsibilities as first priority. If the families cannot see that the Demi Pair student is responsible and committed to this program, problems may occur, and this may lead to early termination of the Demi Pair program. This is because if a trust relationship cannot be made between the Demi Pair student and the Demi Pair family, the Demi Pair family will no longer trust the Demi Pair student with their children and home. In this instance, the Demi Pair student will forfeit their placement with this Demi Pair family and will have to find their own accommodation. No refunds will be provided to the student as they have not committed their efforts and stood up to meet expectations. Communication is key in maintaining a good relationship with the family, and although it may be difficult to communicate in English at first, Demi Pair students must try to express themselves, ask questions, and seek permission in English. If any problems or misunderstanding is to occur, students must contact the Demi Pair coordinator at GCC in order to clarify any misunderstandings and to make things right before it's too late. If students do not communicate with the Demi Pair coordinator, we cannot help you. Now, whilst Demi Pair Gold Coast closely monitors all Demi Pair families, there may be times where a Demi Pair family may take advantage of our Demi Pair students and treat them like free labour. In such cases, GCC will fight for the Demi Pair students' rights and replace them into a new Demi Pair home at no extra cost. But again, Demi Pair students must communicate with the school if there is any problems in order for us to help to make sure your Demi Pair experience is a good one. As mentioned above, English Plus Demi Pair is a program where students live with an Australian family for a minimum of 12 weeks. Therefore, it may be wise to study a bit about the Australian culture before coming. There is a great cultural difference between Australia and other countries, and if you don't prepare for the differences, it may be very difficult to overcome the language and cross-cultural barriers that could eventually lead to problems. Also, whilst the Demi-Pair program is a great way to save living costs, it is suggested that you bring enough money for emergency, transport, travel, etc. You never know what situations you may run into, so being prepared is always the wise thing to do. Demi-Pair students who have successfully completed their program with outstanding results will receive a reference letter at the end of their program, and along with a minimum of upper intermediate English skills, are eligible to apply for the Au Pair program. Au Pair students will be required to provide Demi-Pair work full-time, and in return will be provided with full accommodation and meals, as well as a little pocket money. This pocket money will differ depending on families and the amount of work students are required to do. On average, it will range from $100 to $150 per week. I am delighted to invite you and your potential students to GCC's English Plus Demi-Pair program. The Demi-Pair program requires students to help their host families with looking after children and light household work such as tidying, helping with the dishes, and cooking. You will be provided with private rooms and have access to all 3 meals every day for the duration of your Demi-Pair placement. GCC provides regular meet and greet barbecues for our Demi-Pairs so that they can share their experience, but most importantly, to seek help and receive assistance from our Demi-Pair coordinator. If you look at the sample timetable, you will study for either part-time or full-time, and you will attend to your Demi-Pair work in the afternoon. This schedule may change depending on your host family, but your maximum hours of work per week will be approximately 20 hours. What is significant about GCC's English Plus Demi-Pair program? Well, we are the only Demi-Pair program that is coordinated by the college itself, with a specific Demi-Pair elective curriculum written by our own professional teachers. As you can see, the Demi-Pair in English elective covers various topics important to our Demi-Pairs over the 12 weeks of study, enhancing the opportunity for our Demi-Pairs to not only improve their English, but to advance as a Demi-Pair. The Demi-Pair program is a very cost-effective option for students that is also safe. If you look at the price comparison table, you will see that the fees for English Plus Demi-Pair is approximately $2,000 cheaper than when you stay at a share accommodation, and $2,500 cheaper from when you stay in homestay. Not only is a Demi-Pair a cheaper accommodation option, but it is safe for students as they are staying with an Australian family in a secure home. This program is available for students on both working holiday or a student visa, and includes work such as playing and caring with children, cleaning and tidying, assisting with cooking, and more. You will work approximately 4 hours a day for 5 days. However, this schedule may change depending on your family's needs. In return for your services, you will receive a private room with all meals included. Most parents who require Demi-Pairs are either both working, is a single mother, and very rarely single fathers. If you wish to extend your Demi-Pair placement with the family, you will need to discuss with your family directly. If they agree for you to continue your Demi-Pair placement, you can extend your placement with no additional charge. However, if you wish to change to a new family, $660 placement fee will need to be paid. Students who successfully complete the Demi-Pair program have great English abilities, and a good reference may transition into an au pair. Au pair is where you work with your family for full time, and in return you receive accommodation, meals, as well as pocket money. You must be approved by the Demi-Pair agency to transition into au pair. This is the application process. To apply for the English Plus Demi Pair program, students must have an English level of minimum pre-intermediate. Students who don't have an English proficiency score will need to take the GCC's offshore placement test, either before or at the time of application, to ensure they meet the English requirements. It is asked for all agents to monitor the students during their test, which takes approximately 50 minutes. They cannot receive any help either by another person or by using dictionaries. Students will sit a formal placement test during orientation, and if it is found that the student does not meet requirements, they will be asked to leave the program and no refund will be provided. Therefore, please ensure your students understand this process and take the test ethically. Once the English requirement is confirmed, you will need to lodge an application form, a letter to introduce yourself, and a resume. Once all documents are lodged, you will receive the family profile at least 2 weeks prior to your arrival in Australia. This is the sample application form. Please make sure that students fill in this form as much as possible. Most importantly, the duties that students need to tick on the second page of the form is an indication of the duties that demi-pairs will be asked to do during their program. Therefore, if there are any duties that the demi-pair cannot do, please ensure they practice at home before commencing their program. This is a sample resume you need to submit at the time of application. And this is the student's sample introduction letter. You will need to include photos, preferably photos with children. The introduction letter is the demi-pair student's first impression to the demi-pair families. Families will choose the demi-pair student after viewing their resumes and introduction letters, so please make sure you put enough information on your personality, characteristics, and your strengths in working with children. One hint, don't copy this sample word for word. Tailor it to suit you. Once all documents are submitted, the demi-pair agency will work to match the student to a demi-pair family. Once the family has chosen the student to be their demi-pair, the family profile will be sent out to you at least 2 weeks prior to your arrival in Australia. At the end of your course, you will receive the following certificates: English certificate, demi-pair certificate, blue card, and a reference letter. Now these are some photos from our demi-pair meet and greet barbecues. Students will gather with their coordinators and share experiences, ask questions, and receive help. Every year, the demi-pairs and their families will gather for the annual Christmas party. These are extra services provided to our demi-pairs to reward them for their hard work and commitment to this program. We have many wonderful feedbacks and testimonials from our demi-pair students. I sincerely hope we can add your testimonials to our list, because GCC is the smarter way to learn English.